In today's gaming news, BioWare announces the first expansion for Star Wars The Old Republic, a Goddess prototype video is released, Rage the Scorchers DLC is now available, and The War Z kicks off its Foundation release on Steam. Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Force Feed, your daily gaming news show. It is Tuesday, December the 18th, and my name is Force, here with today's gaming news. First up today, BioWare has officially announced the first expansion for Star Wars The Old Republic. Star Wars The Old Republic's first expansion, Rise of the Hutt Cartel, is planned for release in spring 2013. Some of the new features coming with this update include an increased level cap of 55, new fully voiced story content, and the new planet Makeb. Rise of the Hutt Cartel will be available via digital download for $19.99 or $9.99 for subscribers. Also, anyone who pre-orders by January 7th will receive 5 days of early access to the expansion. Next up in news, just a few days before their Kickstarter ends, a prototype video for Goddess has been released. Still short of their Kickstarter goal, 22 Cans has released a prototype video of Goddess, hoping to spark interest and complete funding for the game. Goddess is an innovative reinvention of Populous, the original God game, and looks to deliver exciting global cooperation, competition, creation, and destruction to a whole new generation. If you're not quite sure how Kickstarter works, basically if they don't meet their funding goal, they get none of the money. Now it is certainly probable that if they don't reach their goal, they'll get some sort of private financing or take out a loan or something to make sure they complete it and get the full amount, but still, if you're in support and looking forward to this game, I definitely would suggest looking into funding it because a couple extra dollars could go a long way. Next up in news, the Rage expansion The Scorchers is now available, a full year after the game's release. The Scorchers DLC introduces a new bandit clan to Rage, the post-apocalyptic FPS from id Software released in October 2011. Besides a new bandit clan, this DLC also adds new weapons, a new difficulty, and the ability to continue playing the game once it's complete. The Scorchers is now available on the 360, PS3, and PC for $5. And last up in news today, we'll be talking about The War Z. The game recently had its Foundation release on Steam, basically meaning you can buy an incomplete version. The zombie survival MMO from Hammerpoint Interactive, The War Z, was released yesterday on Steam. They're referring to this version of the game as a Foundation release, which is a fancy way of saying it's incomplete. Hammerpoint plans to add additional content to the game in the coming months, but as of now, major features such as the skill system and vehicles are unavailable. The base version of The War Z is currently available for $13.49, with additional packages offering in-game gold credits, the currency used for microtransactions. In all honesty, there's a laundry list of issues with The War Z, and I'm completely baffled as to why they've released any version of the game on Steam. One assumes when something releases on Steam that it's a finished and complete version of the game, but that is not the case here. And if you're interested in picking up The War Z, I would caution you to look a little bit more into the game. I've covered it twice in the past, once in the alpha and the beta, and just today I made another video taking a look at The War Z on its official Steam release. But again, this is a Foundation release, whatever the hell that even means. I mean, it just means that the game's not finished, but what the F? I still don't quite get it, and I don't really understand why Valve is supporting something like this, but nevertheless, it is there. Now, what I want to know from you guys today is, what do you think of The War Z? Once again, I've covered it a few times in the past, and I've got another video coming out today. If you don't really know too much about it, I suggest taking a look at one of those three. The thing is, there's just too many issues with it, there are way too many glitches, and too much missing for me to suggest a purchase. But again, the question is posed to you guys. What do you think of this title? And let's not go straight into the DayZ versus War Z arguments. That's not really what I'm here to talk about. I'm not here to talk about whether or not one is better than the other, but I just want to look at the War Z for what it is and have you judge it as that, which as of now is sort of rubbish. Alright guys, that's going to do it for today's episode of the show. As always, thank you so much for watching. Once again, this has been Force, and you've just been force-fed. Fanboys can rage at me all they want. The truth is, this is an incomplete product, and I can't suggest it to anyone. Maybe once they finally finish the game in a couple of months from now, if that even happens. Or they're probably just going to take their initial purchases and all the microtransactions, grab that money and run. That seems more likely.